The recording has started. We've done this 3 times. I'm very aggravated. I've been told I don't show my personality on here enough, so I'm gonna show you my personality. Freaking annoying doing podcasts, I'm not gonna lie. Freaking annoying. It's all my guests are freezing up. I'm having to edit like crazy to get it's bad. Situation's critical. At this point, we're gonna go with it, though. I'm gonna stick it out. I've got a guest, of course, because she's my ride or die. It's Rachelle. Hi, Rachelle. How are you? It's nice to see
Good.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're always invited. And I think we got to change the view here. Boom.
Oh, there
How
we
about
go.
that?
That's better. Yeah, I
So
like that.
listen up. I need to show my personality. People say the reviews are in, say I'm too wooden. My sister Emma said the world's not ready for your mind. And I'm like, I haven't even showed you guys my mind yet. You have no clue what's in my mind.
They
So
have
you're
no
about to get
idea.
what's in my mind, right?
That's right.
So what's in my mind, our discussion point right now is we're going to keep it real pithy for the people. We're going to keep it real important and pointed. We're going to talk about those most important things that can talk about is restaurant pet peeves. When you go out to eat, what are the things that bug? What are the things that bug? And that could be from the restaurant or the service or your guests. I'm going to start off with an easy one.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
The tables are too damn close.
Oh my
What is
gosh.
going on with restaurants where the tables are so damn close? Rachelle, tell the story about the time we went to a famous dinner. I know what you're going to say. We didn't pre-discuss this. Tell the story.
I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was supposed to be a really fancy French restaurant. And we went there and they sat us at the little tiny square table where you're on one side, I'm on the other, just enough room really for like 2 plates. And right next to us is Carrot Top. Probably like right there, like right the edge of the screen. I could touch Carrot Top and his date. They were so close. It was awful. You could hear everything that they were saying. They could hear everything we were saying. You could hear them chewing and drinking. Not an enjoyable experience ever at a restaurant. I don't care if it's Carrot Top. Not fun. Hate it.
Well, and if you remember correctly, it appeared that they used to date and that he was trying to get her back, but she wasn't interested. And it was her just like basically him trying to charm her
It was so
and her
awkward.
and her trying to her to her credit not putting up with it. And then us being a part of it, it was awful. So if the tables are
And
too close
you
together,
literally like start to sit like this. You're like, oh, how do we
no,
get
you're playing a
away?
game's called it's like I'm pretending like I'm not listening to them, but they're listening to me, but I'm pretending like I'm not listening, but they're listening to me, and then they're pretending like they're not listening to me.
Also, I've noticed that all the places that we've been to where the tables are ridiculously close are all the overpriced restaurants. They're already making the money on the food. Take away some tables, please. Annoying.
Okay, done. Tables too close together. I don't care if you need to cram tables in to make your rent. Raise your food prices because you're going to lose customers anyways. All right, here's another one. Budget conscious diners that break down the bill and they only want to pay what they ordered. That's kind of two different things. But the first is if you go to a restaurant with somebody and they start looking at the prices on the menu, and I'm not talking about the most expensive thing, not the lobster or something, just like the price range. If they're looking at that and trying to figure out, well, we'll just get one and split the plate, you can piss right off. Don't come to a meal with me if you got to worry about it. If you're too broke and poor, which is fine, everybody's on different budgets. There's restaurants that are way outside of my comfort range. I'm not going to go there. And if I go there, I'm going to front like I can handle my business.
Well, also, part of the joy of going to a restaurant is trying all the stuff. So if everybody can just get a meal, then we can try so many more different things. So don't split a meal, especially because you're being cheap.
That's funny you think about that. I don't think about going to a restaurant and being like, I can't wait to try what they ordered. I just think
No,
about what the freak I'm going to order, and I don't care what they ordered.
I just think, okay, well, maybe I don't want to get this, but I want to see what the other thing looks like. Maybe I want to come back and get that later. You know what I mean? So it's annoying.
It's funny that we have different mindsets going in. I don't really give a damn what anybody else is getting. I know what I'm getting.
it, it's still annoying when people split because it's cheap. It's like if
Well,
you're right. If you're not going to splurge and spend the money on the meal, then don't go out to eat.
well, there's two elements. It's the I can't. Let's split a plate. Me and you, honey. Let's split a plate so we keep the cost down. Then there's the people that after you get the bill, they say, "Oh, we only had one plate, and we didn't get sodas, we didn't drink any alcohol, and we didn't get desserts. So we're gonna pay $12.13. You guys are gonna pay the $80. And then they make the poor server break that out. I don't care. If you just can't handle your business and go out to eat, and don't worry about it, just split the bill. If there's 3 couples, you each take a third. At some point,
Yeah,
it's gonna break out. It's gonna work out for you. Sometimes it's not. But the reality is, they're gonna remember you being a cheap ass. Let me tell you my story. We were in law school.
yeah.
When we were in law school, broke as a joke, right? Living on loans, basically. I remember we went out to dinner with 2 other couples. I don't know where we went. It was somewhere in Canandaigua. It felt like it was some barn. And the bill comes, and this mother freaker they both worked, starts breaking out to the penny what each couple owes. And I was like, forget it. I'll pay for the whole thing. I
With
remember paying
tax
for the
and
bill.
tip, with tax and tip. It was all. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was, never mind. I'm going to be in a little too much personality. I'm not going to give it all to you in this episode. But anyway,
Slow
I
roll that.
remember that shit. Okay. Don't go out to dinner with me if you're worried about every penny you're going to spend, because I guarantee Rochelle's going to order 2 margaritas or 3
At least. But
at
here's the
least.
thing that you kind of have to remember. It's a lot of it's the mindset of why are you going out to eat? Like if you're going out to enjoy each other's company, you're breaking bread with people, right? It's a whole thing. It, that is there's no value you can place on that. So if you have to pay an extra 10 or 15 or $20 to have a great experience and have great memories, that's what it's about. It's not about splitting meals and splitting the check. It's having a good time with your friends, with your people.
Just before we came on this podcast, which almost didn't happen for multiple reasons, because it was so annoying to set this damn thing up today. You want my personality, you're getting it. We went out to dinner, and I asked the server, what is one of your pet peeves? And immediately he said, parties who have to split the check multiple ways down to a different dollar amount. If it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, their system handles it very easily. It's when he has to manually put in $12.15 for the couple who just split the salad and didn't
Yes,
want to
but
get
he
sodas
also
or.
said anytime he has to split it from more than 3 or 4 cards, it's like someone should just take the bill and everybody Venmos and Zells.
Yeah, but
But
if
for
you do
them,
that, then the same people are gonna be like, well, my bill is only $12.15. I'll Venmo. What's your Venmo? I'll send you that much. Don't come around me. I don't want to be your friend if that's you. Unless, I mean, I'd rather just pay for your shit. I'm just gonna pay for it.
at that point,
Okay.
you'll just pay for it.
Next pet peeve. Tell me if you
Yeah.
agree. This is a product of COVID, by the way, in addition to all the other
Yes.
ridiculousness that happened in our society because of COVID, including the fact that somehow we now all of a sudden every hotel hasn't lowered its room rates, but it's not going to do housekeeping or do new towels because I don't know, COVID. I don't know. No salt on the table. It's not common, but it is more common than it used to be. There's not salt on the table. There's no pepper. You got to ask for it. You got to ask for it. Do you have any input on that, Rochelle?
No, I just hate it when I don't have access to salt and then I have to go and walk around a restaurant and find it in the hostess station or find it behind the bar. And I will. I will go and find that salt. And I'm not a big salter, but when you
I'm
want
an
salt,
assaulter. I
especially you're
am an
having a
assaulter.
steak, you are a salter.
I'm
Yes.
like the God of the Old Testament. I'll turn people into salt, baby.
You're like
You don't
Saul.
even.
That is name.
No, I'm not Saul. I'm God, and I will strike down Lot's wife if she looks back at the city because she can't. She has to watch the homosexual activity happening there. Apparently, it's in the Old Testament.
That was
You're getting my
awful.
personality today.
Awful for her.
And I will turn anybody into salt who is in favor of these things.
Anyways, no salt on the table, hard line, bring me the frickin' salt.
Here's another one: the server either lingering too long or disappearing, and then you get the server, particularly like at Applebee's style. They want to sit on the booth with you or is crouched down at the table and right on the table. How do you feel about that?
I like a server who's willing to be personal and like engage in conversation. The moment they sit down, you're in big trouble because now you have no way of getting out of the conversation. Very annoying.
I mean, just take my order, attend to my needs, and get the freak out.
Truth.
Don't crouch down. If you crouch down with your little apron on, like we're not bros. Stop broing with me. Also, don't disappear. Don't just like what happens at restaurants is they take your order. I don't know if you guys know this. I've done restaurants. I didn't preface this with this. I have restaurant experience. I
Yes,
worked at Little
you-
Caesars for a
you're
year. I
professional.
worked at Deep Pacific's Italian restaurant for twice, so like 2 years. And then I worked at Riverside Country Club as a server for 2 years. So I've done busing, I've done serving, I've done fast food, and Rochelle's done her fair share of Dairy Queens. And where else did you work? The
The malt shop.
the malt
I worked
shop,
at
Quiznos.
Dairy Ann, and I did bus tables at D Pacifics. Yeah.
Yep. So I've been there. What happens is they take your order, they put it in, and when the salad, if they have salads, as soon as they bring your salads out, that's when they start cooking your food. They call it firing your food, right? And then a runner will be sitting back in there, and they're sorting through all the orders, and they're in charge of taking the food while it's still warm out to the table and dropping it off for you. And then the server's responsibility is to come and check and make sure that the order was delivered properly and that your food is okay. Lots of times the food will come out and you're eating and you're halfway through before the server comes and checks on you, and you could have needs that you need to attend to, right?
You could
So
have
when
no
they
salt,
disappear,
and you're wanting salt for your food.
that's a great example, Rochelle. Thank you. Here's another one: not giving drink refills. Now, that is water specifically, right? And they're already giving you the stink eye if you don't order alcohol because they can't make as much money on the bill.
Truth.
Sodas is the worst. Now,
I usually
sodas are
take care of that. I'm always the best customer
for what?
for ordering drinks.
Yeah, but they only come back and give refills if it's alcohol because they make money. If it's
Right.
water or soda, they don't want to do it because it's extra work. Except for the sodas now are like $6 or $7, and they better for that price, they better be refilling it. So bring me my freaking water. And I drink a lot of water at a restaurant. You've seen me.
Maybe the trick should be you just should ask for a carafe of water when you order your water. Can I please have a water and an extra carafe?
I'd prefer a pitcher like the white trash. I don't want
Okay.
it fancy. I
Yeah.
want it to look like straight out like a pitcher, just like with the ice and everything.
There's
of
nothing
course.
worse though when you're drinking your meal and you need a
Drinking a
drink
meal?
and you can't take
That's
a
what you
drink.
do is drink your meals, isn't it?
When you're eating a meal and you can't have a drink and you're dying, right? If slow slider, those of us who have slow
No,
sliders
the
or
worst are
issues,
the Asian spots, the Vietnamese places. You're the pho's hot. You put the chili in the pho, the sriracha, the
everything's
whatever,
hot, you're on
and it's
fire.
hot, and
Yeah.
it's getting hotter. The deeper you get into that bowl, the deeper it gets in the
Very
hotness,
true.
and you're starting
Very
to
true.
sweat. And they're not bringing the water, and they don't care. They don't care. They don't want to say hi to you. What happened to you, Vietnam? I know we had wars and stuff, but we should have at least like a little bit of like veneer of service orientation. Am I
Some
having a
water.
personality tonight?
Some water would just help when you're having hot food.
Exactly. How about this
Okay.
one? This one here will give you the most anxiety of anything. You ready?
Yes.
What do you think it is? What's going to give me the most anxiety that a server would do or
Oh my
not
gosh.
do in this case?
I don't know.
Not writing your order down.
Oh,
Happened tonight. Happened
It did.
tonight. And you ordered the chili with, and you said no cheese, no onions, and the ribeye. And then he didn't write it down. And then he said the order back, and he's like, you want the chili with no cheese or onion? You're like, no, I want cheese. I don't want onion. And I was like, Rochelle, I thought that you said also no cheese, no onion. And I think you did, but he didn't ever write it down. So you had no written evidence. Just like anything in life, you have to document things.
well, and then he's heard it twice, so now the chances of him messing up are higher. But he actually did get it right. I wanted the chili with cheese, but no onions.
Well, reality is, I want a server to write their stuff down. I don't want you to show me how this is not a, I didn't come in here to see how good your memory is. I came for you to get my order right and get me my food how I want
You
it.
know, that's interesting. I feel like in some of the high-end restaurants, that's like a standard, is that they're not allowed to write the order down and they have to remember the order of the whole table. And I don't know why that is such like an impressive thing. To me, it's not. There's a huge room for error there. They just need to write it down,
It's just
please.
stressing me out. How about this one?
Oh gosh. You know, if there's a table that wobbles, you know I'm going to fix it. You know, I'm going to do whatever I can to get that table to stop wobbling. Or I'm going to have to Karen out and try and switch that table with another table. I'm not going to sit at a wobbly table.
Wow, you have a real strong opinion on that one.
I do. There's no reason to eat. Life's too short to eat at a wobbly table,
And then
especially if
you know
it's
what you
going to
say?
spill your drink.
Do you remember that restaurant we went to? It's the one down on Decatur and 215. It's the Mexican spot where the alligator place used to be, the New
Yes.
Orleans based one. What's it
Yes.
called? It's got good
El
food.
Toro and El.
El Toro y la Cabra.
Yes.
And we say this table's bouncing. It's wobbly. And so he like gets like 3 pieces of cardboard and like shoves it into the one of the legs. It's like, okay, now it's like this, right? It's not moving, but it's like this. Our food is sliding down like it's a cruise ship.
Wobbly
on, guys,
table is
get your
very
tables.
uneasy. Yeah,
Get your tables straight. How about this one? The music is too loud or it's too dark in there. They're two different things, but they're the same pet peeve, right?
same. If you can't talk, have a conversation, and the music is too loud, it's very, very frustrating. Then you get one or two drinks in you, and then you're talking really, really loud, which is not helpful for the situation.
Music too loud is its own form of aggravation because there's one in town, a restaurant that we love to go to, will remain unnamed. And they have this one dude who comes and plays guitar. It's like,
Live music, which is great. I love live music.
it's not really live. He plays to a backing track like Sting and like the bass
He's
and
playing his
the
guitar.
bass
It's
and
live.
drums, and he like plays his little thing, and it's so loud. I'm like, turn your down, dude. Turn it down.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
turn it
will even
down.
ask him to turn it down, and then I'll tip him, but I'll ask him to turn it down.
And then also, if it's too dark, then I got to do the old,
Pull out the camera with the light
pull out
on it on
this
your
with this
phone.
and do
Yeah,
the
there you
thing.
go.
Oh, I can't see, and I'm
You
already.
got to do that anyway, but in a dark
Well,
restaurant, it's real bad.
it's bad. So just turn a little bit of light, but don't force me to use your candles either. That's another thing. I don't want to use your candles. Like if I would put your candle out because I don't want it, especially the battery powered ones, I'll unscrew them, and then
Do
they
you
come
remember
over
we
because they're like
turned
little
one off
Twinkie
once
ones.
and then the person came back and turned it back on?
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this done quick because apparently our podcasts are too long. Here's another one.
Oh,
A dirty bathroom equals a dirty kitchen.
truth.
I think I've
Oh,
never verified, but I assume.
yeah. I
You
hate
don't
a dirty
disagree with the
bathroom.
premise.
I hate it. I hate a dirty bathroom when there's toilet paper on the floor, when the paper towel trash bin is overflowing.
Oh yeah.
Situation
What happens if it's a Mexican spot and they're putting the used toilet paper
on the floor.
in the trash can next, like as if they're still in Mexico or Guatemala, right? They can't flush it.
You know the kind of patron I am? I'm the kind of patron that I
Don't tell
wash
me to
my
pick it
hands
up.
and then I dry my hands and then I take the thing I dried my hands with and I grab a few extras and I wipe off the sink where I just dripped water on it. And then I put it in the trash and push the trash all the way down so that more trash can fit in there.
You're a special kind of weird.
I know. I'm trying to help them out.
How about this one? This is when you're going out with another couple or a group of people. I guess I always put in the context of other couples because we usually do, but let's just say you go out in a group setting. There's more than two. Let's just say there's two of you, two or above. This is annoying.
Yes.
Texting or talking on the phone during the meal. If you're going out to dinner, shut your phone off or check it once or twice to make sure the house isn't on fire. Because there's been a couple times where you're like, excuse me. If I look at my phone, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone. I got to check to make sure everything's okay at
This
home.
is something that you really helped me kind of see because as we leave our kids and we have to be available for our kids sometimes when they do call, you've said you've had to prompt me a couple times to say, Rochelle, just take it outside, right? Like, don't be sitting having a conversation or texting at the table. Just take it outside because you just step away from the table. That's a lot more courteous to step away from the table to deal with your stuff than I think it is to be on the phone texting and talking when you're at the table. So
I
thank
agree.
you.
Everybody think it's like everybody's the same. Everybody thinks their kid is the cutest, their dog is the cutest, their problems are the most important. So when they get a call, it's most important to them. But if you get a call, they don't. And the reality is nobody's entertained by it. Just like tell your kids to stop freaking calling. And that's our kids too. We've had to tell them stop calling. Like I get
I
so
get
mad.
I get so mad.
I've been at dinner with people, checking every text message they get when they're at dinner. Have to respond. I take it personally. I want to walk up and leave. Here's one. This is a new thing as a result of COVID. QR code menus. This is controversial. Maybe you like it.
I don't mind it.
You like it because you can like look at your phone,
No,
zoom
I
in.
like
I
it
don't like
because
it.
sometimes it's easier to read the menu on a phone because I can control the brightness than having to read a menu in the dark restaurant.
But it's just another reason to use I'm trying to get away. I'm trying to put this thing under my leg. I'll put it under my leg so that I can feel it vibrate if something comes up. So I can check it discreetly on occasion. But I don't want to pull it out and look at the menu. Just give me a menu. How hard is it?
It
Are
is a
you
lot
really keeping
easier
us
to
that
flip.
safe from COVID? Like COVID's not gonna get on the menu anymore.
It is easier to flip through a menu than it is to scroll through a menu on your phone. That for sure is true.
Maybe I'm a boomer. I just want my fingers on it. I want to touch.
Almost like reading a book versus listening to a book.
Not exactly the same thing, but the equivalences there's some commonalities. I agree. I do agree with that. How about this one? How about public displays of affection at the table? How much is acceptable to you, Rochelle? I know you have opinions on this.
How much is acceptable? I think that it's okay to like connect with the person that you're with. And if you want to hold their hand and kiss each other on the cheek a little bit here and there, and thanks for coming out with me and, maybe a little bit of a cuddle or whatever. But I think that it's to just be aware of everybody else that's around you and what possibility that the comfort level of everybody else around you might not be that high for affection,
If
so.
my opinion is if you are there, just you as a couple, leaning across, sitting by each other
Mhm.
is one way. We don't really do that. I mean, I like to look like
Well, we like to
eye to
talk to
eye.
each other, so we're usually
Yeah.
across the table. Very rarely do we sit next to each other at a table.
I figure my bedroom's a fairly comfortable place. If I want to escalate, I'll do it there. I don't need to do it for the whole restaurant to see.
But even so, the purpose of going out with friends is to spend time with friends, to interact and to chat and to talk. And if other people want to go out together and spend time together, like that's fine, then they can go out together. But I think when you're in friends, like that's the whole reason that you're out there is to, you know what I mean?
What about this? Very last one. I didn't make a banner for it. What about if you go out? Are you all in the same level of like? Do you need to tell the other people you're going out with like this is a drinking dinner? This is a calm dinner. Like some people, I've had people show up to dinner when they're clearly intoxicated, and then you're like, "Oh, this is not the same. We're not on the same level. Not that one's worse than the other, but you came in three,
I
four, or
wasn't ready
five
for that.
drinks,
I
and
wasn't
I'm
ready
not there.
yet.
I
I
wasn't
didn't.
planning on going there tonight. Do
I
we
didn't
need to talk? Do
pregame.
you have to talk about it before? Like, what's the vibe? What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is I think that that's just a more difficult dinner to navigate through because you are coming in at different places. You shouldn't have to. I guess I never thought about the fact that I shouldn't pregame just in case the people that we go out with aren't pregaming because then it puts us at a different place. So I guess I'm on the other side of maybe people that would frustrate you.
Maybe I was referring that to you.
You probably are.
Maybe I was like, wait a minute, you're coming in hot. I'm not. But there's something magical about going out all on the same level. Maybe
Absolutely.
maybe coming in, you're all showing up. How do I do this with my hands? There we go. You're all on the same level. And then together it becomes, oh, hold on, I can't do it. Together it becomes if you're going to turn up, we turn up together. But if you come in already like you're at an 8 and I'm at a 1, what's the point at that point? It's no fun.
Well, it just is off balance, and then if they try to escalate and you start to escalate, now they're way off, and you're like, I'm not even there yet. So that can be frustrating. You didn't talk about one thing that I talked about before, about one of my pet peeves at restaurants:
Oh, okay. What is it?
paper straws. Don't give me a
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
paper straw that's gonna get soggy and nasty and soft like a noodle. Like, no, get it away. I'd rather drink from a dirty lip of a cup than have a paper straw. That's
I'm
how I
not a
feel.
straw guy anyway. Honestly, I'll take my chances with the sippy sippy. I feel
I
like
know, but
when you
the
sip
ice
a
hits your
drink,
teeth.
what does?
The ice hits your teeth. It's
Yeah,
like,
but what
ugh.
you're not understanding is 80% of your taste is your smell. So if you can get up there on the sippy
Oh,
and get
okay.
your nose up in there and sniffy sniff and then
Okay.
put the
Okay. I'll
drink
give that
down,
to
it
you.
enhances the flavor profile. If you
I'll give
just
that
suck
to
it
you.
through a straw, it's a very sterile, you require and then if you put a straw in your mouth, it may bypass the parts of your tongue that have different parts of your tongue taste bitter, salty, sweet. If it goes to the back of the throat and down the gullet, you may not get the taste profile at all.
Okay. Okay. But also if you're trying to get your drink quick, a straw is really helpful.
At that point, you might as well just take a shot.
Truth. Yeah.
But the paper is completely not, it's a non-starter for me as well. It disintegrates. It tastes like sandpaper in your mouth.
It's awful.
It's insulting to humans. I don't care about turtles. It's just an
It is
insult to all
insulting.
human. It's an insult to the advances we've made of humankind.
Agreed.
Any other questions?
I don't think I have any other questions. I think the only other pet peeve that I have is that when you go out and you're in a certain mindset with your spouse and with your friends or whatever, and there's people next to you that are eating that aren't very conscientious of other people, like their kids are leaning over the booth or they're yelling or screaming or throwing food, and they just they're giving their kids an iPad, and the iPad is playing really loud. Like the neighboring tables can be really annoying if they just aren't being conscientious of the fact that there are other people out here eating in public. So that can be frustrating. I know it's hard to have little kids, and that's why you just don't take them out when they're really little, because it can be really frustrating. But I don't like loud neighboring tables.
So you don't like
Obnoxious.
kids?
No, I
Anyway,
like kids. That's not
I'm just
what I'm
kidding.
saying. I'm
No,
saying like
here's the solution to the problem. Go anywhere where the price per plate is going to be $20 or more, and no kids will be there. If
that
they
is
will,
very
there'll be like kids that'll have a nanny with them, and so the nanny will be taking care of the kids or taking them out. So just you basically confess to your trips to Applebee's, Chili's. Where else?
yes.
Where else? That's where you're going to find a bunch
Olive
of kids.
Garden,
Wherever the Tuesday night kids
California
eat
Pizza
free.
Kitchen. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, I love kids, but they don't deserve to go out and eat because they're going to order chicken fingers and French fries anyway. So why are you bringing them? You're too
Very
cheap to
true.
get a sitter. If you're too cheap to get a sitter, then you probably shouldn't be eating out at all. You should save your money.
Maybe.
I have opinions. Did you guys see my personality? Hope you did. Have a good night. Say goodbye, Rachelle.
See ya.
You can say it.
Oh, and good night.